Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Global AI Horizon Summit 2025. We are thrilled to be presenting at one of the world's most dynamic gathering of AI leaders and decision makers. AI is rapidly transforming industry across the globe, reshaping operations, accelerating innovations, and redefining how businesses function. And today, we'll be sharing exclusive insights from our latest research project, which answers the question at the top of your mind for many of you in this room. Is there a geographical pattern in AI adoption rate across companies? And how does this relate to their AI workforce matrix? And in this presentation, we also break down our findings using series of graphs that answers who is the leading country, who is gaining momentum, and where should investors look to capture long-term value. This is an overview of our poster, and this is the geographical distribution of companies with high AI adoption. This graph tells us which countries are using AI the most, and it shows that the US is leading with 61.4%, strongly attributed with companies such as Microsoft and Amazon, whereas China has 16.9% as they have growing technological and economic powerhouses. We would like to dive deeper into these two countries. And now I'll pass on my time to Yu Yang to discuss more about US versus China.
Thank you, Qiao. My name is Yu Yang. Now, allow me to run you through the AI growth distribution, specifically looking at the AI growth by sector at China versus the United States. So as you can see from this chart, a sectoral comparison of AI growth shows China prioritizing infrastructure and tech-driven industries with strong growth in utilities, technology equipment, retail, telecom, and healthcare, likely fueled by the strategic Chinese government support. The US, by contrast, leads in pharmaceuticals and software, reflecting its strengths in innovation-heavy sectors. However, the US also shows negative growth in multiple areas on the chart, like insurance, energy, and retail, suggesting market maturity or strategic alignment. These patterns highlight China's broad AI expansion across foundational sectors, while the US pursues focused growth in high-value domains, signaling differing national approaches to AI adoption and industry transformation, something worthy to take note for investors. Next, allow me to move on to the AI adoption, specifically looking at publications and adoption rate from comparing US versus China. So as you can see on the chart on the left, this chart illustrates the AI adoption rate by sector across the various sectors in China and the United States. The United States leads significantly in sectors like military, life sciences, and personal devices and computing, indicating a strong AI adoption in defense, healthcare, and tech industries. In contrast, China exhibits high adoption in sectors such as energy, transportation, and agriculture, suggesting growth in these industrial applications. Banking and finance and business sectors shows moderate growth in both regions, while the US slightly ahead in these sectors. So investors should definitely consider these trends to identify high potential sectors that are suitable and aligned with their investments mandate for AI-focused investments in both regions. Thank you.
Thanks, Yu Yang, for your sharing on AI growth and AI adoption. I'll now be touching on AI publications. So high AI publication output often correlates with government funding for AI research, and this suggests that a country is invested heavily in research and development. This also means that a country has strong academic institutions and technology ecosystems, as well as talents, which can lead to future breakthroughs and commercial opportunities. Now, looking at our first graph, you can see that North America has the highest number of AI publications at 53,000, followed by Asia with slightly more than half the number at 28,000. This means that North America and Asia are leading in the AI publication. Now, when we look at distribution by region and company size, we can see that in North America, large companies contribute the most to AI publications, and a similar trend is actually observed in both Europe and Asia, where a small number of large companies dominate the AI publication landscape. Now, with China and US being our key players in AI adoption from each region, we take a closer look at their research landscapes and how they differ, specifically through the lens of AI publication and company size. So you can see that China leads in the 201 to 1,000 employee range indicating that mid-sized firms, likely startups and R&D-backed enterprises, are central to its AI development and innovation. Now, in contrast, the US dominates in the larger companies categories, especially those with 5,001 to 10,000 employees, reflecting a research ecosystem driven by tech giants such as Google and Microsoft. These patterns reveal two distinct models of innovation. First, China's decentralized, fast-moving innovation base, followed by mid-sized and high-growth enterprises, followed by the US having a centralized corporate-driven model, where major AI breakthroughs often stem from mature, well-funded, and large institutions. I'll now be passing my time to Kay.
Now I will be covering AI worker metrics. This section explores graphical trends in AI research and workforce allocation, focusing on how countries differ in innovation strategies and talent use. Starting with AI patent metrics, we compare China and United States. China produces significantly more AI papers and patents overall, about 450,000 papers and 70,000 patents. In contrast, the US produces around 45,000 papers and 35,000 patents. However, the US shows greater efficiency, generating 1 patent per 1.3 papers, while China needs 7.7 papers per patent. This reflects two strategies. China focuses on scale and exploration, while the US targets high-impact innovation. Moving on to AI workforce. The box plot shows the percentage of tech teams made up of AI specialists across regions. Europe leads with a 12% median, followed by North America at 11% and Asia at 10%. The Middle East includes outliers at 24%, though based on small sample. What's striking is the wide range in North America, up to 32%, showing that a few AI-heavy firms drive leadership in the region, rather than uniform adoption. Now, I will pass the time to Wei
Now
Shen.
looking at AI workforce distribution by sector, we can observe that the US has a larger AI workforce presence than China across all sectors, especially in document management and publishing, nanotechnology, personal devices and computing, computer vision, and speech processing. Despite the US broader distribution of AI workers, China is rapidly advancing and catching up in many fields, such as education, entertainment, networking, and robotics. These trends align with each country's focus. US having a strong emphasis on high-tech and research-intensive fields, while China's rapid growth in the select few sectors show emphasis on industrial integration and real-world application of AI. In summary, the US has the highest AI adoption rate in the world, followed by China. The US has many large-sized corporations that dominate AI innovation, while mid-sized corporations are responsible for driving China's growth. China's high patent publication ratio reflects strategic emphasis on commercializing new innovations, while US balanced patent publication ratio reflects a strong research to application ecosystem. Lastly, US focuses its AI workers on research-based and high-tech sectors, while China focuses on real-world application sectors. Now, moving on to our key takeaways for investors. Firstly, China's strong AI growth rate presents significant opportunities, especially in applied real-world sectors like manufacturing, networking, and robotics. Investors should capitalize on these high-potential sectors in their long-term investments. Therefore, we recommend long-term joint ventures or partnerships with mid-sized Chinese firms, which are leading the country's AI momentum and commercialization efforts. Meanwhile, the US AI growth is beginning to stabilize, so there's a limited window for investors to fully capitalize on its research-driven innovation sectors before the market becomes saturated. If investors want the best of both worlds, in the short term, invest in US companies driving advanced AI development, and for the long-term investments, look towards China companies applying AI across real-world industries.